You said on Saturday you wanted the players to go away for the weekend and have a little think about the challenge ahead. What kind of a response are you expecting today from them?
Really positive. We've got a duty of care to bring out the kingly energy as much as we can in every person that we meet at the football club, and that's a path of discovery that you'd have to choose to take yourself. It's something that you have to be absolutely truthful with yourself about. Once you do that, you can start to make real progress. So I'm hoping for that this morning. I haven't spoken to the boys yet, but knowing the group that we've got, knowing the types of lads that we've got in there, certainly off the back of my short period at the club, they're engaged, they're activated. At this moment in time, we're not being paid back with performances and results, but eventually that tide will turn.
Because there are only 10 games to go, aren't there? 30 points to play for, but it's so tight. I think 2 points between you and bottom. Every single point counts now.
Yeah, I think the 6 of us in that fight for 2 places. So when it's backed into a corner and your football and lives are on the line, which I think they are for anyone who's down there, the trapdoor, then for me it's got to bring out the best in you. If it brings out the worst in you, you lose your status. If it brings out the best in you, it gives you the springboard to bounce into the season next season full of confidence, and through that adversity you're hoping that the group is bonded together.
And you're the manager, you're the leader, but you also want the players to take some responsibility as well.
Of course. I mean, they get all the plaudits when things go well, and rightly so. When things aren't going so well, there's criticism laid at the door, but how can you expect it any other way? You can't just take the smooth without the rough, and at this moment it's been a tough period for them. They haven't had the fans in. That could have gone one way or the other. Certainly knowing the gas heads and they can galvanise and get behind you, but also like any passionate football fan base, they will also give you the criticism should you not be deemed to be honouring the jersey and honouring the quarters. So it can work both ways. We've got to make sure that whenever they're back in the stadium, which is coming sooner and sooner, that they're proud of the boys that pull on the jersey to represent them, and that the team that we field on that day has the full backing of the MEM and any other stadium that we go to with our team.
So you kick off against Swindon at 7 o'clock. What do you want from your players against Swindon tomorrow?
3 points. I think that's what everyone wants. How we get them doesn't really matter. The important thing is that we get them. But as you said earlier, there's 30 points to play for. We're going to need to be a lot better than probably what the form book suggests for the first 36 games. We're going to have to win more games than we have. But looking at all the objective data markers that it can, we're tracking at this moment in time below our XG for chances created. We've scored less goals than the chances we've created, and we've also conceded more goals than the XG we've conceded. So the data usually writes itself, over the course of a season. When I look back over the previous regimes, the data that is currently being produced in my short period is not been matched since I think 2018 here. So the lads are doing lots of good things. There is lots of things that are really, really positive, and we really must focus on them. The tide is about to turn. Whether that's quick enough to save the status in the division this season, we'll find out in the next 10 games. But the tide will turn here. This club will be successful, and that's why we're here. We're here to fix the issues that have clearly held the club back in previous seasons, and it isn't built in a day. It's we've got 3 days and a game, 3 days in a game. We haven't even been able to do some of the sessions that we pride ourselves on, and that have helped us build a solid team and solid foundations at previous clubs. But we've got what we've got. These are the cards that were dealt to us, and it's my job as the leader, my job as the manager to make sure we've got the best hand available at all times, based on the cards that we've been dealt.
You were asked about Sam Nicholson on Saturday. Any updates since the weekend, Joey?
I haven't as yet, so fingers are still crossed. I always, glass is kind of half full. No news is good news. Certainly when you're, in the position we're in. So hopefully we can get him back, because he's a player who, you know, as I said earlier, helps us create goal-scoring moments, helps get us up the pitch, helps create goals for other players. So you need every single player available, able to offer their ability to their absolute maximum. You know, if they all give us that, then you can ask for no more from a person. And I think that's the problem. I think there's been a few people who haven't been, you know, given everything that they've got to give for a multitude of reasons.
Aaron Lawes-Tuma made his second appearance under your stewardship on Saturday. If Sam's not available, could he be an important creative player for you in the running?
Yeah, for sure. You know, he had a little bit of a tricky spell. He hasn't, you know, been involved as much as he'd like to be involved. But I thought in his little cameo the other day, you know, as well as Dave Tonda, as well as Josh Hare, I thought there was some good moments for them. And I think for them to come back into the fold, as I said to them when I first come in, everyone's going to be needed. You know, it's injuries and suspensions that have opened pathways for people. Some have taken them, some haven't. But certainly those boys, when they came onto the pitch Saturday, give us a bit of a boost and a bit of a lift and show me what they can do. And we need every single player, as I said, giving us his absolute maximum if we're going to have a chance of this great escape.
And it's probably not top of your list of priorities, but the captaincy. Is Luke Leahy your captain going into the run-in, having kept the armband on Saturday?
I would always like to have, you know, a team of captains, 25 captains. I think that's the best way. Certainly in the good sides I played in, there was more than one captain. You know, someone wears the armband and meets the referee beforehand and leads the mascot out. You know, I've been captain of clubs before and I've not been captain, but I always behaved and always, you know, tried to influence my teammates from that kind of leadership position. So Luke's been superb for me since I came in. You know, the fact that he's the club's top scorer from left back says, you know, he's also been superb before I came in. And I think he is somebody who's really stepped into that, you know, leadership role. And I don't feel, you know, the previous captain had the same kind of qualities in that space as what Luke's got. So I came in, he was somebody else's captain, and Luke was in the armband, and I see no reason for him not to be. We changed it at Hull. I don't think that worked. And I wanted to, you know, proceed with that. And as I say, for me, I would much prefer if I had 11 captains on the pitch on a match day, and obviously 25 captains in the training ground. If you get that, usually successful. So we need to, you know, encourage leadership. We need to develop leadership, and as I say, hopefully, you know, we can have that strong leadership group, because if you're going to build a foundation to a solid team, then you need more than one leader.